Hey guys, I ran into an issue with my Jack the Chicken mod earlier this morning, and I was able to debug it and fix the issue, but I figured it'd be nice to kind of just walk back through the steps and what was going on in my head and what I was thinking and those kinds of things to help other people learn how to use the gold debugger and fix their issues. So yeah, let's go ahead and get in on it. So the first thing we're gonna do is open up a new terminal, and we're gonna split it in two right here. This way I can open up a REPL to build my game. I'm going to wait for the game to build real quick, and then I will launch my game, and we will get a quick overview of the issue. Alright, so we have connected into the game. So we're going to go ahead and boot now. And you should see it here in just 1 second, hopefully. Oh, not like that. There we go, like that. Alright, so the issue that I was having was if I go ahead and start the game back up. And if I give myself chickens, so if I give myself chickens like this and then die really quickly, the game was just crashing. But I thought that was really weird. I know that whenever I die, I like try to reset the chickens. And so I was like, okay, is it whenever it's I have 12 chickens? So I got this one chicken and then I died. But this was fine. So, and it reset the cell properly. So I'm like, okay, it must be just when I have 12 chickens and I die. So I went to the chicks level, and I picked up 12 chickens here. I said maybe like it's like an off by one error, and I'm like going outside of an index or something like that. So I got my 12 chickens. I died, and it was completely fine still. So, yeah, at this point I was kind of confused. So I was like, okay, I really don't know. I figured it had to be something to do with the chickens, because if I reboot and I just die fast, but without a chicken, I don't crash. So like this, I die before you can even see it, but it's safe. Like, I don't crash. The only time I crash is if I give myself chickens and then I die like that, and this crashes. So I said, okay, well, I don't know where to look, so we're gonna break out the gold debugger. So the way to do that, you're gonna want to boot up your OpenGOAL game. Then you're gonna come down here into your REPL and make sure it's connected. So you see here how I have a G. You want GC, so I'm going to do LT to connect to the game, and now I have GC and I'm connected into the game. I'm then going to do dbgc like this and run that, and we're going to see debugger connected, and this is a bunch of like data and registers and stuff. I don't know how to read all of this stuff honestly, but this stuff is useful. But even without knowing what that stuff is, you can still kind of read some good stuff here. So I bring it up like this, and so backtrace was too long. Exception might have happened outside of goal code, not good to see, or the frame is too long. So I keep scrolling down. Now, eventually here, I'm going to see with profiler swap display. Now, this is something that just with my experience, I know that this is like a sign of memory corruption, or like this isn't actually what's causing the issue. This is just an effect of the issue, so I just keep scrolling. Same with this like on-screen stuff, you can just kind of ignore that. Oh, and that's all I got this time. So this time I actually got completely useless garbage. Oh, you know why? Because I haven't crashed yet, or something. What? Huh? Okay, well, I crash like this. Now, there we go. Target got raised an exception, DI. Okay, hopefully this is a little more useful. Okay. So, we are now, okay, right here. So this is the stack trace, and these are the functions it's calling. So you see whenever it goes red like this, that's an indication that on modcustomcode.gc line 271, when it tried to do this, it crashed, right? So I'm like, okay, I see that I am looping through and I am getting current chickens, and I'm crashing. So I say, okay, that makes sense. Let's search for defund get current chicks, and just maybe I made some mistake or I did something that isn't safe here. So I make sure that we're initialized first, and then I loop through the number of flock points, and when I get a chick from flock, if it is in the following substate, I then increment the current chick number by 1, and once I am outside of this do times loop, I want to return that number. So if I find, 6 chickens that are following, this would become 6, and I would return that. This code looks really pretty daggone safe to me. I don't think this code is that bad, or dangerous or anything like that. The only thing that I could think is maybe like when I'm dying or I'm in some weird state or blackout. So I basically said, instead of when I'm done initialized, I put an and here, and I said, target equals dying, like that. But that didn't fix the issue. So my next thought was like, okay, well, let's add some print statements. So I searched for format, and right here we have a good old little format call, and we do get current chicks to get back to our function definition. So here I say, I print here and I say something kind of like, we are entering get current chicks, and then right here I say, like, I do the same thing here like this. I just copy that format over and I say, so this is within the scope of this. Well, no, it's not actually. It's supposed to be within the scope of this when loop here. So right here, and we say, now here I said something like, we found a chick and the current total is squiggle D, current chicks num. So that D is like a number. So the value that follows the string gets put into that squiggle D. So it's like, we found a chick and the current number is 3. Cool, that's probably useful. And then, like, right before we return here, I add another print, and I say, we are about to exit current chick, and the total found was, and this is still the same number that we're tracking. So I save that. Here, to get out of the debugger, I do parentheses :exit. Hopefully it doesn't take a year. Sometimes it just takes a year like this. When that happens, all I do is I go over here on the right and I just close both of these like so. So now we rebuild the game with those changes, with just these print statements here. And we're hoping that in the logs we're going to see something useful. So we have finished. So we can do task boot game, and we expect to see prints, but yeah, this kind of happened, and as you can see, it's not particularly useful, because it just constantly prints. If you get one, it just starts like, and I can't really tell where this is, and this is kind of just like punishment for me for adding the code every frame. So at this part, I'm like, uh-oh, I need to ask HatKid what is happening, because I don't know. Essentially, my thought process here was like, okay, it's time to start, asking people. I've done my print statements. I've attached the debugger. How can I solve this? And I was about to give up. But one thing about the debugger that I forgot personally. So I removed these print statements because they're all useless garbage. Like so. I guess I could just have done this like that. So I removed those because those are useless garbage. And I'm just trying to get any information I can get about this. So I'm like, maybe if I connect the debugger one more time. So I go and build my game. I boot up. Then we got to do the LT here. LT and DBGC. So there we go. Now we got to recreate the crash by giving ourselves chickens and dying. And run DI. And I start looking at this again. And so, like I said, when you see this red, so it's consistently at the same spot. This is, if you start getting this in like all different areas of the code, ooh, it can be rough, man. It's like random memory corruption, whatever. The fact that I'm always crashing on this line is very good. So when the code crashes, I am in this instruction here. However, something I remember learning is that this is not necessarily, this is where I am crashing, but it's not necessarily why I am crashing. So something up here could have essentially started the avalanche and it's coming down, but before it actually hits you, the avalanche hits me right here. But just because the avalanche hit me right here, that doesn't mean that's where it started, you know? So I start looking at this and I'm kind of like, huh. Set or clear status. The entity actor, entity by name, get chick from flock I, parent cell name. And the moment that I read this line, I go, I'm being an idiot here. This is 100% the issue. And because I've written my code, I know exactly how it works. But I will quickly go over a little bit of that, and I will show why that call was the issue. But the big thing to take from this is that just because that one line is red, check the lines above it too, because you might have been stupid there. So what I do is I boot up the game. Boom, like this. And I say, okay, well, let's do a get chick from flock I, but for I just representative of an index in the loop, so I can just pick 3. So I get a chick from flock 3, and we can see all this stuff. But and I know the issue was with parent cell name. Right here, this line right here. So I say, okay, well, if I take all of this and just paste this into REPL, what does this actually return here? Ooh, symbol I was looked up as a variable, doesn't exist. I need to replace that with a 3. Returns hashtag F, and I'm like, oh, because when I initialize a chicken, the chicken gets initialized with a field of false for the parent string name. So then I say, okay, well, this here that is false, is it actually false? Like if I do equals to the string false, hashtag false, like this. And it is not. But is it equal to like real false? And it's equal to real false. So basically, what this code is doing is looping over the chickens, and it is clearing the status of the false power cell and making it true, and then resetting chickens. And say like here, the reason it doesn't crash when I grab 12 chickens is because if I grab this, if I grab this right here, now let's run this code again, but let's do it on chicken 0. Chicken 0. Ooh. Oh wait, that's an equals 4. Right here, this on chicken 0. And we can see that it is now chemfac chick 6 instead. So I'm resetting the power cell with that name when I die instead of #false. So I got completely sidetracked thinking it was like a speed thing, but really it was just that my shit here was trying to restore a power cell that didn't exist. So how do we fix that? So what I basically just did, and I said here when, and then I grabbed this, because remember, as I said, grabbed, yeah, all of this, because this resolves to either the power cell's name or false. So I said when not, and then put this in, and then I loop everything right here. So this basically says when not false, but if this is a name, like if this is factchick3, then that's considered true. Anything that is not explicitly false in goal is true. So in this case, if the chicken's name is chemfactchick3, we're gonna reset it. But if its name is false, well then we're not gonna reset it. So I do an MI to rebuild my game with these changes. I do a reboot, and I attempt to replicate my crash again. I picked the most annoying level to do this on, and boom, I crash. Well, what's going on here? Well, I don't need this knot, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because I'm saying, oh, I'm actually specifically running on false. There we go. This is better. Now it's when false. Now we do it, and woohoo! We don't crash anymore. And that is the story of the fix and how I used the debugger and the importance of looking at the stuff above the red thing as well as the red thing, and just doing a full investigation and audit of your code. So yeah, hopefully this helps somebody, but I was just kind of, just yapping a little bit about it. You have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Zedbot, on Discord. Y'all have a good one. Peace.